This is chapter 11, taking turns during battle, and all the things that go along with it, like moving units around, dealing damage, applying effects, and all the rest. So the most important thing I want to convey in this video is that it's critical that the computer program know whose turn it is. And it's up to you to make sure that the program knows whose turn it is by clicking on the appropriate initiative die. So here we are at the end of this battle setup. I've made some changes. I've changed some units around, changed some initiative around, just for purposes of demonstration. Basically, nobody really has any effect dice. There were no training points. I haven't given anybody any skills. Boomer has his innate skills, so we might demonstrate that using those. But otherwise, this is going to be a pretty much plain Jane, and that's really the point here. I just want to basically demonstrate how everything sort of works when you're taking turns during battle, how the reminders work, and that sort of thing. But if you come away with only one thing from this video, it's that it's critical that the computer know whose turn it is. So since we're at the start of round one, I am going to click on this blue initiative die. This corresponds, of course, to this dragon delinquent that I added to the battle map. And now the computer knows that it's the dragon delinquent's turn. So the program's not going to know when his turn is over, so it's up to you to make sure that you then advance to the next initiative die in the initiative meter. You can advance simply by clicking on the appropriate die, or you could also use the down arrow or the right arrow. There are lots of different keyboard shortcuts you can use, but the point is that if the computer doesn't know whose turn it is, you're not going to get the kind of results or the kind of reminders or the kind of feedback that you would expect to get from this program. So that's the most important thing to come away with. Okay, so the Dragon Delinquent is going to roll dice to attack Boomer. If we look at the Dragon Delinquent here, he has the Engulf skill. He has weaken 2 if he rolls a bone. And he attacks the weakest gear lock. And the weakest gear lock on the battle mat rather, is Boomer, of course. So that's why he's attacking Boomer. The program has automatically displayed Boomer's player mat. If we look here, we see that the Dragon Delinquent rolls 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice. This is the area where the baddie rolls his dice. And you can see that the program has already preloaded it with 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice. If you need to make a change, if for some reason something is off or there's some prevailing factor that the program doesn't know about that should cause some sort of adjustment to attack or defense dice, then you can obviously increase an attack die by left-clicking, add 2 attack dice by right-clicking. It works the exact same way that these icons work down here. But we're going to just go with the standard, and I'm going to go ahead and roll these dice. So we got 1 attack, and the Dragon Delinquent, we're getting a reminder that the Dragon Delinquent has the Engulf skill and the Weaken skill, because he did roll a bone. He did get 1 shield. Now, defense dice show up here in this little box, and you're going to see the total defense of the unit in this box. the computer automatically and internally keeps track of whether that consists of one die or two dice. So, for example, if I click on the Dragon Delinquent again, notice that, okay, this time two attack dice and only one defense die showed up because it knows that one defense die is sitting on the unit and is banked for active defense for this unit. Okay, so we got one attack against Boomer, and he has Engulf, and he has Weaken 2. So we're going to deal 1 damage to Boomer. We're going to deal 1 damage to Tantrum, and I'm going to click on Tantrum's chip because we need to increase his rage because he got hurt. So I'm going to click on Tantrum's chip and right-click his rage die. And all it takes, because this is just a rage dice to make things easy, all you have to do is click, right click or left click to change. So I'm going to right click it, and now it's set at 1.2. So both of those units have taken damage, and the Weaken 2, Weaken 2 gets applied to Boomer. So I'm going to bring up a Weaken 2 die onto Boomer. So all the necessary effects are down here, and you simply drag them to the appropriate unit. Any chip on the battle mat here can hold up to 4 different effect dice, so that should be more than enough. So I'm going to now move on to the Cobalt Tracker, who will also roll to attack Boomer. He has Compound, and therefore he's only rolling 1 attack die because it's round 1. He rolled a 1, so 1 more damage dealt to Boomer. And I'm going to point out here that I'm just left-clicking, as you would expect. If I needed to apply true damage, I would have to control left-click, as you can see in the tooltip. But that's not the case here. And now we're moving on, and now we finally get some Gearlocks who can fight back. So we've got Pickett here. He's got 2 dexterity. He's going to have to move. And I think I'll bring Pickett over here. Again, I'm not playing strategically, but I do want to have him try to focus on taking out this Bog Frog before he can hurt anybody with his poison. But unfortunately, Pickett only rolls 1 attack die, and he can roll 2 defense die, but he only has 2 dexterity, and he's already moved once. So the question is, does he attack or does he defend? I think he's going to attack. So 1 attack die he gets to roll. If I tried to say, oh, let's try an extra attack, I'm going to get reminded that, number 1, he doesn't have the dexterity, nor does he have the necessary attack stat to roll 2 attack dice. So all that's appropriate. We're going to roll the 1 die for Pickett. He got 2 damage against the Bog Frog. 1, 2. And now we move on to Boomer. Now, Boomer's dexterity is reduced by 2 because of the weakened effect, and we can now remove the weakened effect die. So that's gone. A simple right click, as you would expect. I guess I'll have him try to take something out of the Dragon Delinquent. So he's going to roll 1 die. That's all he can roll. And he got a bone, which I'll add to his backup plan. And now we move on to Tantrum. And Tantrum is going to have to move. So we'll bring Tantrum up here. That uses up 1 of his dexterity, so now his dex is down to 2. And I guess we'll, he can roll 3 attack dice. So probably we're going to go, I guess we're going to go after this fellow right here. So we're going to go, we'll roll 2 dice. My dex is down to 2, so I'm going to roll those 2 attack dice. He has no defense. And he got 3. That's enough to take out the dire wolf pup. And the lashback won't take effect because the 3 is going to defeat this unit. So we can ignore that. 1, 2, 3, and the dire wolf pup is gone. And Tantrum gets to increase his rage by 1 for the attack and gets to increase his body count by 1 for the defeat of the dire wolf pup. Again, this only requires a right click because it's a counter die. So I can simply right click and it counts up to 1. And now we move on to Patches, who's got 2 dexterity and is not in a great place because 2 dexterity is what it's going to take him to move. So I guess we're going to bring Patches all the way up here and just let him sit there. Hopefully next time around he'll be able to do some damage. We're going to move on now to the Bog Frog. He attacks Picket, and he has the poison skill, and that's all he's got. He's not rolling any dice, obviously. So we put a poison 2 die on Picket. Okay, that will take effect when it's Picket's next turn. We now move on to round 2. So I come up here to the round die and I click it. I'm just going to click and move on to round 2. And now, because it's round 2, the first unit at the top of the initiative meter automatically gets selected. So the Dragon Delinquent, again, is going to roll Boomer. Remember, he's got 1 defense, and so this time he's rolling 2 attack dice and 1 defense die. Of course, the space bar would work just as well. And once again, this time he gets 2 damage, and he did get his backup plan skill. So 2 damage against Boomer. But the engulf has no effect because there's no one around. But the weaken 2 does get applied to Boomer. So once again, Boomer is weakened. And I don't think Boomer is long for this battle. Doesn't look like he's going to make it. We move on to the Cobalt Tracker, who will probably do Boomer in this time. Now he has Compound, and it's now round 2, so he's rolling 2 dice. He gets the 1 attack he needed to take Boomer out, so 1 damage to Boomer, and Boomer's gone. He's knocked out. All right. Initiative dice automatically get removed from the initiative meter. We now move on to Picket, who has the poison, so he has to get 2 true damage. He has no shield, so I can just as easily left-click twice. And now this gets reduced to 1. Now, poison dice are treated, poison effect dice are treated as counters, so I can actually just left-click this effect die, and it'll count down to 1 poison. And now Picket has 2 dexterity. He's got his full dexterity, so I'm going to roll a defense die, and let's see what we get. He got 1 damage against the Bog Frog. So the Bog Frog's now down to 1. We're going to move on to Tantrum. And Tantrum is going to go after the Cobalt Tracker. He can roll 3 attack dice. Unfortunately, they're kind of wasted on the Cobalt Tracker because we only need, well, yeah, he's hardy, so 3 attack dice are just not going to cut it. But we might as well roll all 3, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so we get 3 damage. We try to apply 1 damage, and we get reminded that the Cobalt Tracker is hardy, and we also get reminded to increase Tantrum's rage because he rolled an attack die. So his rage goes up to 1.6, and now it is Patch's turn, and does Patches go after this guy and finally take him out? I guess we should, because he's going to be rolling 3 attack dice next turn. So Patches has a full 2 dexterity, so he's going to roll, but he can only roll 1 attack die, so he's going to roll 1 of each. And so we got a shield that will help, so I'll put that into an active slot. Remember, that's a Control-Shift-Click. And 1 damage gets applied to the Kobold Tracker, and that will be enough to do him in. And then we move on to the Bog Frog, and once again the poison skill, and this time he is going after Picket, and he will just simply change this die to a 2 poison. When a new poison effect comes into play, the rules say, and you already have a poison die, you simply change the poison die to the one that matches the new effect. So even despite whether it goes up or goes down. So if you had poison 2 and you got hit by something with poison 1, you'd have poison 1 on you instead of poison 2. And we'll now move on to round 3. And this time, the Dragon Delinquent attacks the weakest unit of our choice. That's a tie between Tantrum and Picket. Tantrum's near a breakdown, so I think I'll have him go after Picket, even though Picket's got this poison die on him. So we will roll. This time he's rolling 2 attack dice and 1 defense die, because he's got a defense die banked already. He's got another defense die, so now he's got a total of 3. And we got a Gulf. His backup plan's in effect. So we have Weaken. So Weaken 2 gets applied to Picket. And 1 damage is done both to Picket and to the Bog Frog, fortunately. So that helped, thanks to the Engulf skill. And now it is... wow, Picket's turn. He deals 2 damage due to the poison. His damage gets reduced down to 1, so that's a left click. His dexterity is down to 0 thanks to the Weaken, so there's nothing that he can do. Not good. We move on to Tantrum. So Tantrum has to move 2 spaces to get into position. So we drag him over here. That reduces his dex down to 1. And I think we're going to see if we can take this guy out and just get rid of him finally. So we are going to roll 1 die. That's all we can roll because of the 1 dex. And we got what we needed. So that takes the Bog Frog out. And we increase Tantrum's rage. Now, Tantrum is at Activate. When Tantrum... And can we... Oh, too bad, because he doesn't have... unfortunately, I was checking to see if this unit was a 1-pointer. It's not, so we can't use his Execute skill. So we have to use his advanced skill. So we're just going to bump him up again. Oh, unfortunately, he doesn't have his Rage 2 die in effect. But he, let's check that last message. And he gets a body count increase. And so that just sits there at 1.8. I guess I should have taken advantage of the bones when I could. I think I'm going to cheat here. I'm not sure the bones are going to help us at all, but I'm going to go ahead and take the 3 bones and just exhaust this die. So it takes a control right click to exhaust it. Yes, we do want to exhaust it, and we're going to manually add 3 bones to Tantrum's backup plan. And we move on to Patches. Okay, so Patches can roll 2 attack dice. He's got 1 defense die banked, so we're going to go... Oh, unfortunately, he's got only 1 attack stat, so we're only going to roll... we can only roll 1 attack die, because he's, unless we decide to re-roll this backup, this defense die. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll see if we can get a better value. Probably won't, but it's worth a shot. No, we didn't. We got a bone on the, unfortunately, on the attack, so he does no damage. And we move on to round 4. Dragon Delinquent is going to attack Picket, because Picket is all the way down to 2. This is not looking good for him. He got 1 damage, and so 1 damage against Picket. Engulf skill doesn't really apply. The weakened skill, however, does, and unfortunately Picket is helpless. There's nothing we can do. Hopefully I'm not making too many mistakes here. Okay, so Picket loses his last health thanks to the poison. He's gone. All right, we move to Tantrum. That's better. Okay, 1 attack die. No, he can roll 3 attack dice. I was looking at Picket before. So 3 attack dice, no defense die. Hopefully we can take a dent out of those shields. We got 2 hits. So I come up to the HP. I don't have to worry about decreasing the shields. I just have to apply 2 damage to the HP. 1, and it comes off the shields automatically. 2, comes off the shields automatically. And now, if you recall, the Dragon Delinquent did have a defense die of 1 and a defense die of 2. I'm sure it took off the defense die of 2. So he's going to be able to roll another defense die when it's his turn. Okay, Patch's turn. Okay, so he can roll 1 attack die. I'm just going to go ahead and roll the 1 attack die. Got 2. That's nice. So 1 comes off of shields, 1 comes off of health. All right. Unfortunately, we're going into round 5, and the Dragon Delinquent gets to roll again, and this time he goes after Tantrum with 2 attack and 2 defense. Oh man, he almost practically maxed out here. So he's got full load of defense die, and what's that last message? He did not get any bones, so the weakened skill doesn't apply. That helps. And the engulf skill does help because now he's going to hurt himself. So 3 damage to Tantrum. 1, 2, 3. We don't get the message about Tantrum's rage die because it's been exhausted. 3 damage against the Dragon Delinquent. That'll all come off his shields. 1, 2, 3. All right. Tantrum's turn. Okay, so we're going to roll for Tantrum now. 3 attack dice. Okay, he got a bone. We'll add that to the backup plan. That's his axe collector skill, which isn't really going to do us any good because he can't throw an axe at an adjacent Dragon Delinquent. So I think I'll leave that. I'm not going to use those bones right now. He did get 3 damage, however, and that helps because there's no defense on the Dragon Delinquent. Now we move on to Patches, who rolls 1 die. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Because he applies 2 damage to the Dragon Delinquent, and now we're moving into a fatigue. We get reminded that every unit on the battle mat loses 1 HP due to fatigue. The Dragon Delinquent has been killed. We successfully defeated all of the baddies, and the battle mat gets reset, and we succeeded in that battle. And I think we pretty much covered everything we needed to cover. I mean, clearly there might be other effects that get applied and get dragged, but I think you got the gist. So that's enough for this video. See you in the next chapter.